similar like the current playoff season basketball. What's that pressure like knowing going into that season? Like I've got to do this, otherwise I might not be known the NBA season.
Straight up.
And welcome to Corona Sports Indoor Stadium, the NBL 1 North Grand Final Series.
And he definitely deserves a contract somewhere for sure. He's an NBL player to me.
And I had a basketball in my hand ever since I can remember. Big driving force was my dad.
Thought about the three-pointer, sees Krebs open. The jumper from Krebs is good. Oh, Dan Krebs for mine so far has been the man of the night.
Played obviously professionally in the NBL, he's an import, played in Iceland overseas. So for me, like, I always looked up, as most kids do, always look up to my dad. There's never a point in my life where I don't remember not having a basketball in my hand. I actually got recruited to college before I went to the COE. So St. Mary's was actually one of the first schools to approach me and recruit me. Shortly after that, I got an offer to go to the COE. I was there for 18 months. I think I just turned 18 when I went over there. For me, I think the biggest thing people don't see is like when you're by yourself, you might have had a bad day training, school's not going well, and not being able to have people close to me and supportive. Like, there's times where, you know, when you need your parents or someone to talk to like that, and they're just, you know, it's just not there, which, again, it's super hard. But in the end, that was the choice I made was, that's what I wanted to do, and I knew that's what I had to sacrifice and learn how to adapt and kind of look after myself.
Conference championship in stunning fashion as they take out America's #1 on the doorstep of the NCAA tournament. What a performance by St. Mary's to win the West Coast Conference championship game. No,
I wanted to come back and play in Australia. So my goal was to play in the NBL, and just the appeal to come back. Well, I got to go back and play this. This is where I want to be. So I was back home in Tassie 2 or 3 months. And during that time, I was talking to the NBL team, working out, and then Brisbane made the call. Andre Lamanis was the coach. And I had a relationship with Dre when I was at the COE. And in the end, it felt like the right fit for me was to come to Brisbane. It was probably my role, trying to assert my role and get an understanding of what that is, because I've come from college, and for the last 3 years over there I knew what my role was, and now I had to kind of start that all over again, which was tough. Throughout the season the role changes in anything, and that was tough for me because first year I was trying to get my feet in and get an understanding how it all works, and then you're playing one game, you're playing 25 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're playing 0, and it's a lot, and you don't know if you're doing something wrong or what's happening, and it's just tough on the mental psyche a little bit. So I think for me that was probably the biggest challenges.
Around the perimeter for the moment, shot clock rolls to single numbers. Krebs baseline attracted plenty of attention, fires and comes up with the goods. To the hands of McCall, who was looking for a foul. Here's Krebs, hard to the hoop, 2 more.
Nice take. I love the aggression from Krebs. He's like, look, this is it. It's going up. Ain't no more games after this. I'm getting mine.
Krebs, top of the key, fires the triple. It's off the mark. We've seen the highest score in the competition this season, both as a team and as an individual as well. And the Cairns Taipans sweep Brisbane 4-0 on the season, coming up with a 14-point win. Cairns 112, Brisbane 98.
The season didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out, but I see where we need to go. There's pieces that we need to be better Yeah, I'm super excited to see what's going to happen in the next weeks and months ahead.
I still knew I needed to improve, in a lot of areas, but just being constantly solid in what I do well. And so that kind of transitioned over into going to Gold Coast and playing with Jace, because not necessarily I was going to be the #1 guy every night. I was going to have to find ways to contribute at an effective way, but rather than not having the ball in my hands all the time.
Action from the weekend. We'll start with the Gold Coast Rollers, who stay undefeated, and a veteran in Jason Kiddee scored 27 points and 7 assists. And NBL free agent Tanner Krebs added 32 points with 11 rebounds. They are good numbers for Tanner. He keeps putting them up this season, and he's doing his chances of another NBL contract pretty well.
100%. I might have to get on the phone to JD after this and let him know that Tanner's been playing really well, and he can do this. He just needs a chance. So, I think this NBL 1 season will give him great confidence, and he definitely deserves a contract somewhere for sure. He's an NBL player to me.
I think from the beginning the goal was clear. We wanted to win a championship. I think one of the things that has helped us get to this point is just dudes are committed and we all have the same goal in mind. Obviously there's a game plan in place, but in the end, in these kind of games, it's really who just wants it more and who's willing to sacrifice.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Krebs Sports Indoor Stadium as we bring to you the NBL 1 North Grand Final Series between the Gold Coast Rollers and the University of Sunshine Coast Rip City.
All right, so yeah, how much is NBL 1 / like off-season hoops for you a must versus like a need?
It's a good question. It might have been a need for me last year, just in the stage I was off contract. I needed to prove myself that I could play at NBL level. I hadn't really. I think people were a bit skeptical after my first 2 years. They expected more. I expected more of myself a little bit as well. Last year was definitely a need. Definitely.
See you guys work. Keep working.
For people that don't know, like in terms of that, you talk about it was a necessity at one point to kind of play off-season basketball. What's that pressure like, knowing going into that season, like I got to do this, otherwise I might not be, in the NBL next season, sort of thing. Yeah.
Straight up. I don't think it gets talked about enough. I struggled just not knowing and not having that clarity that I was going to be playing next season, and I was I had so many sleepless nights not knowing where my career was going. Fortunately, I had some people that saw in me and believed in me, and that doesn't happen for everyone. I know so many people that are mates of mine, and really good mates of mine, that are just out of the league now because they didn't perform to what people expected, and now they just didn't have people that believed them in at the moment, and it's just sad, and it just sucks. And I'm like, man, I was so close to being that guy. But yeah, I'm just so grateful and fortunate that the people who were there saw what they see in me.